I yell at the TV, I talk to the radio driving down the road. If your heart burns about political issues and you want to get involved, go for it. Go for it. Go for it. We need to encourage one another and move ourselves forward. Instead of pulling one another back and talking about each other behind our backs. But rather, whatever you're doing in your life, and life is hard enough, isn't it? Be an encouragement to one another.
We can do it. We can legislate responsibly and in good faith. Let's get to it. Let's get the job done. I'm willing to negotiate. I'm willing to compromise. I am pleased to stand by my friend from Maine as she described a plan which I think is pretty reasonable. So I think it's pretty sensible. That's the dialogue between women. That's how women work. That's how women roll, as you use
And
that.
every race I've been in has been different. I run against men and women. I ran against a woman named Betty, and her campaign was she was a better Betty. and on the front page when I beat her, it said Betty Peters won the battle of the Bettys. I'm sure nobody else can say that. But anyway, what I have learned is you can win. You can win multiple times on a grassroots type shoestring campaign. First time I ran, I was outspent 7-1. This last time, I think it was approximately the same thing. But it's a lot easier if you got the money. But if you can really define your issue and listen to people, and I set up a little think tank so I could get feedback from a wide range of people. If you listen to them and you do your homework, you can do it. And if anybody's interested or would be later on and needs just some tips on running a shoestring campaign, I'll be glad to help you. And I don't charge.
I also am a seated councilwoman in Atmore, Alabama. The only woman in the council there in Atmore, Alabama. I'm very proud of it. When somebody wants something done, they call me. And the reason for that is I'm going to quote Margaret Thatcher. She said, "If you want something said, call a man. If you want something done, call a woman." And I thought, my goodness, this woman was so smart. But here's the facts, and most of it you've already heard. You've heard where we stand in the legislature. This is unacceptable, and we can do something about it. We have the power. I'm here to tell you, I ran against 2 men, and both of them were well known. I was not from the Atmore area. I was a transplant, but I got out there and worked my butt off. I went door to door. I called people. I was already a good beggar because I'm a registered nurse. I've been in the school system. I work for Red Cross. So I knew what it was like to get out there. I volunteered all my life. I was raised to volunteer, to be active, to put my voice out there, to be heard and seen as we should be. We must enlist the help we need. We're so accustomed to doing things ourselves, it's hard for us to ask for help. We must begin the work needed to complete the job. Don't go halfway, whole hog or nothing. And we must continue to rely on God. But foremost, we must put women in office in the state of Alabama. Thank you.
We say things like, someone else will do a better job, I'm so busy, or I don't think I'm qualified, sometimes in the same breath while we're complaining about the incumbent. I say to all citizens of Alabama, especially women, if you have any time and any amount of energy and the incumbent isn't perfect, you have a duty to run. And if you have money to donate, please use it for women candidates. The men have plenty already. Sadly, the science I've reviewed shows that with less women in office and in higher office, women, children, and minorities don't do as well in pay equity and other measures that are important to me. Many foreign aid agencies have this truism that they say, if you give money or power to the man in charge, he spends it on prestige and electronics or weapons. If you give it to a woman, she improves the life of her children and her community. This might be the case for women in Alabama. Let's find out. As the mothers and the caretakers, the nurses, doctors, teachers, educators, and with our own knowledge about inequality, what's happened to us, maybe we do pay more attention to health, education, and justice. I also understand right off, without even thinking about it, that we have to have role models. If there are no women in office, our daughters may not consider that career. A friend of mine just sent a Facebook picture of her 3 daughters standing in front of my yard sign and told me they all want to vote for me. I'm already a role model for them. And let me tell you about my youngest child. Her nickname from birth has been Madam President. You know what I mean. In 2008, she actually said, I don't want Hillary Clinton to win because I want to be the first woman president. She won't be old enough for 22 more years, ladies. Let's not wait that long.
I work as an auditor now, full-time job, a full-time mom, and my husband decided to join the Army. So I'm usually at home with my son, or he's on my hip as I give a speech. But it's possible. And you know why I won't quit? Whether or not I win, I hope I win in November. Whether or not I win, I'll come again. And if I have another child, I'll have 2 of them on me. You know, if I have 3, I'll have all 3 with me, because I believe in this state. I believe we can get better. I believe we can do better. And I'm overjoyed right now because of all of you. You give me hope. So whether I'm 29 or 60, I'm gonna keep trying. And maybe one day I'll win. And if not, maybe my children will try. So I hope that I inspire you guys. You definitely have inspired me. And I hope to get to all 67 counties again this year before November 4th. And thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Perfect opportunity, and those don't come. And yet we care. We want to make a difference in our environment. And so the first thing I really want to encourage everybody, I'm an early learning fellow, and I was in Minnesota a couple weeks ago. And there was a powerful story that we heard from a researcher on children who performed at 80% in their math skills. But their own teachers that work with them every day, when they were asked what they expected those children to perform, it was that 20% was the highest one, and it went down from there. We don't dream big enough. That's why we don't achieve. We wait for someone to open a door for us, and it's time to stop that and take. There's a terrible commercial going on right now. It's about and or, and I don't even know what it's for because it doesn't make any sense. But for my point, it's about to make some sense, because women think that we have to choose, do I want to be a mom or have a career? And you can have and be mom and a career. Do I have to choose to have a career or be elected official? No, you can choose and be both. I know we've talked about young moms getting in all 67 counties. I was with Martha Rohde not long ago, and she is a wonderful example for her young children. That's what we want to be, is we want to make a difference in this world. It does not have to be or. Choose and, because it's your choice.
Dr. Laura Hall has been down there for decades with her work with Alzheimer's. Senator Vivian Figures. We do not agree on the issue that's passionate to my heart, but we agree as women to respect each other. And that's what I hope that today will really help people to realize, that women bring a lot to the table in terms of communication, love, and respect. Thank you.
On the panel, like I said, I'm proud to be a woman. I'm proud to be running for state senate, and My opponent has been there over 40 years. We'll see what happens. If you know any people up in that area, I would appreciate that. One thing I do want to say, when we talked about running and how you don't want to do everything yourself, I do have several of my volunteers here tonight, and I'm proud we are working hard in trying to get our name out there. So thank you for having me. Thank you for having us, and get out there and run.